Good morning. I'm going to start this video off kind of a little tour again, and just starting on the back side of the house, where I'm spending most of my time lately. Let's see. You can see over there where I just finished those two garden beds on either side of the porch or the deck. I built the step down. Let's see, and the two slices of glass for either side of the sliding door are ready, so I'm going to go pick those up today and install those. And there's Toast sitting there in the only unfinished area that I have to finish, like around that down in there. Try to get the dirt right and tarp that. Let's see, there's all the new pots that I got. I think those are 15-gallon. That's going to be my go-to for garden pots. I mean, they're not going to be as heavy as these pots when full, and for fig trees and other things. I found a hookup on those, so I'm going to be getting as many as I can on those. Let's see. Tomatoes. These are English pea. And I've seen one on there already, so they're starting to come in. There's the tomato right down there. All this stuff's looking good. Let's see. Coffee time. I'm a book nerd today. So in those beds on either side of the porch down there, Jessica's put zinnias and other flowers to try and recreate these beds here. Although those are zinnias and stuff. These are poppies on this side, which we should be getting some flowers soon. This is that Thai dwarf mulberry that, if you look at my last video 14 days ago, none of them were ripe, and this guy's, I mean, I've already picked them all up. They were just falling all over the place. They're just, look at this. You touch them like this, and this whole, well, I gotta wiggle these a little bit. Some of those fell off, some of them I'll pluck off, but I get a whole handful like this. This is the best way to eat mulberries. Get a whole handful, and then eat all of them at once. Then you get sweet, tart, a big mouthful. Let's see if I can show you down there. That's where they all fall down too. So I picked up all these a couple days ago and planted them, or scattered them in an area back there. So this is World's Best, or Thai dwarf mulberry. I'm gonna same name, or same plant, different name. The seedlings of these will be popping up in one area, and then I had some wild harvested seeds that I put in a different area, a little patch right over there. So I'll know, you know, which seedlings are which, just for a fun experiment. Let's have some more mulberry trees in here to plant. I planted a couple more in these pots right here. You can see I'm missing some figs because, well, I'll walk up there. All right, I'm going for a walk. Let me get my coffee. I wasn't quite ready to make this whole video yet, but I'm going to. I bought another purple muscardine. Funny story. I was at Lowe's getting some water hose pieces, and someone had picked out like the most beautiful grapevine. There's my little basil seedlings. Somebody had picked out the most beautiful grapevine and another plant. They had two plants sitting side by side, and I watched them for a few minutes while I was walking around, and I didn't see anybody come back to them. So I grabbed that grape and I bought it instead. It was beautiful. I couldn't let it go. They could go back and pick out a new one. I don't care. It didn't hurt my feelings at all. And it's not stealing. They hadn't bought it yet. But whatever. Alright, let's see. I'm just going to walk past these chestnuts. You seen these 13 days ago. There's no pawpaws popping up yet. But more of these chestnuts are busting out. Look at these. Over a foot tall. Or right in that area. I'm going to maybe... Well, I'm going to plant a bunch of these in the ground. After I cut the nut off. You see, you got to cut that nut off that's still attached to the stem and the root. I'm going to cut that off and plant them in the ground, or else the squirrel will dig it up trying to get that nut. But then the ones I don't transplant into the ground, I'm going to transplant into these tree pots that the mulberries or the figs have come out of. So I'm going to walk back here and show you. So you see where I'm going. There's the bulldozer in the landscape lighting shed area. I'm walking out of the driveway. There's a couple of summer tangers nesting back here. I think that's what those birds are called. So I'm walking down the driveway. Like I'm gonna head out of the driveway. Oh, and over here, let's see. There's that forest soil that I'm sifting with that trommel that I was talking about. Somebody dumped here. It's great stuff. Okay. And I already had a row of 10 giant green arborvitaes here under the power line to kind of block that neighborhood view that they cut in before I bought the place. But then I bought these Cypress Crispy Eye. They get big and they have that gold tint to them. They're just absolutely beautiful. So I got them all planted real tight, you know, with the arborvitae. I got 4 planted. This is some hard dirt, so hopefully this rain we just had softened it up. So this is what we're calling the back 60 on this side. So I've walked past the berm and the last pear tree here. And this is the entrance to the trail. Look at this. You come in this trail and there's row 1. There are 6 rows of 10 fig trees planted. And number 1 and 2 on these 3 rows, I haven't mulched yet, but I pulled back all the debris and duff underneath the pine straw and stuff and broken down logs. And then I did that with these 2, but then I started mulching right here because it started mulching from that end down there. So I put a real thick ring of mulch over top of all that duff. And this mulch has sat around for about 2 years now. So it's starting to break down real good. Full of mushroom mycelium. See the figs. These are all different varieties. And I'll do a tour up here once I get finished and give you all the variety names that I've got planted up here, but you won't believe it. Let's see, I've got, I think, 6 more to plant in row 4, 5 more to plant in row 5, and 5 more to plant in row 6. And that's where it stops. Just 6 rows of 10, just like this. This is the back 60. Then I've got all this laying still. All the trees you see basically are mine all the way through there. But it stops up a little ways closer to the end. Anyways, I'll take you on that route another day. I'm barefooted and there's still like holly leaves and briars and pine cones and stuff. It's not that pleasant to walk on it if you're not a badass. So. And going through there, I'm just not, it's just too early. I'm not doing it right now. I just wanted to show you that, the back 60. One more quick view. You can see you might be able to see the pink flags I've got going down row 1 and some other ones I've got flagged. I just needed to flag some while I was putting the mulch down so I knew where to dump the mulch and not, you know, dump it onto a, right on top of a tree. I was coming through like a gap in the trees like this and dumping some piles and stuff. Let's see, and then black walnuts that I had gathered and thrown out. That's what these 3 spots are right out here. But I also planted a hickory nut seedling with this one. And they're living as transplants. It's like day 3 and they're fine. These here. And see, this one had already got planted by a squirrel right here. and it was doing just fine, and that's why I decided to put the row in going back this way of black walnut. And then the squirrel came back and dug up half of the nut, and now a portion of the little branches are dying, but the trees are going to be fine, I'm sure. All right, and then that's beautiful. Look through this. You see row 10, or you see number 10 on all the rows of figs. And this is what I'm going to be seeing as I'm driving in, you know. I'm driving in like this and look over, boom, row of figs, boom, row of figs, and a kitten, boom, row of figs. All right, I'm going to take you down this way. I'm going to take you around. See, and this is where I had all those big trucks parked. I got them all consolidated back there now. And look. Boom, boom, boom. Who would plant a white Madeira fig tree out here in the middle of the woods? Oh my God. You should see the exotic names. All right, so here's row 6. So I got 2 planted on this end and some planted down on that end. And I just try to dig the holes for here. So I got my mulch ready right there. Dig the holes. But here's a couple in row 5. A couple in row 4. And then all of row 3, 2, and 1 are finished. Are you a wildcat now? No, you love me. You love me? No, you're wild. Come on. Come on. Alright, so. Do you want to see the giant pile of mulch I'm working with? This is where I was having the guys dump the mulch before I started having them dumping it in my yard in strategic spots. This. Can you see the quantity of mulch that goes through there? And that's all my land. I see mushrooms coming out of the top of that mulch pile way back there. Let's see. Those are mushrooms. Those are magnolia flowers, and that's kind of right off of my land. That row of trees is not my land, but this clearing is. And then we're at the back side of these arborvitaes over here. So I've got all this room in here, but it's all under power line. But I just called Duke, and I'm getting on the list of non-spraying their power lines, which who knew they just come randomly and spray herbicide on all your edges. Like, look back here, they have sprayed that edge right there with herbicide to keep the plant material from growing up here. And there's other evidence of it that I found, including actually spraying one of these arborvitaes. So I've going through the process of getting on their list of not spraying and giving them as many legitimate reasons why not to. See, that one there got sprayed, because you can see all of that material, right, all that plant material got sprayed. So that's not fair that they're allowed to do that. I think I'm gonna have to sign something saying I'll maintain the height of these trees and the vegetation underneath the power line from now on. But I mean, I've got a line that comes through the property this way, and then that one up there, I don't know if you can see it, crosses over top of the trucks that I've got consolidated. And this is the main power to my house that goes straight down through here. So I guess they hire somebody who can legally enter your property, spray and leave with no notification, without telling you. This is Duke Energy, so I'm gonna edit that part out, but it's your power company. They can do that. And to me, that's not fair, but it's just the way it works. And if you read their website description, it sounds like, oh, most people don't mind that we spray herbicide. It actually clears vegetation so that wildflowers can grow, and honeybees love wildflowers. So we're doing a good thing by spraying poison. And I guess that convinces most people that it's okay, but I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't think it's okay. There's big petitions in Asheville and probably all over the place for them not to be spraying your property or even public property or just, you know, state property or whatever. So let's see, I've got a very limited number of figs that didn't actually come back, and there are a few that are making their way back from apparent death. There are 2 in this row, and this is like a clump of, I don't know, 10, 40 maybe. And there's only 2 in this whole 40 that don't have evidence of coming back. So I got peas in these rows. My sweet corn's looking really good. See my sweet corn in rows. I don't know if you've seen that experiment, but that's growing great. There's row of sweet corn down through there. Oh, I almost stepped on some. Okay, let's see, the deer came and defoliated these mulberry trees right here that are growing out here, but that's fine. The trees will live. Look at this. Poor little thing. They ate every single leaf. They did a giant clearing back there and took away all the deer's food. Now they think they can come here and eat everything. They better be very selective, is all I can say. See, this tree coming back. Look at that. Beautiful, thick little stalk coming back from the ground. This is a massive air layer I did on a yellow long neck, and I thought that only the air layer was going to live, and then it came back from the ground right there too. Massive. So I mean, this is over 2 feet of growth here in Aberdeen / Southern Pines, North Carolina, Pinehurst. 2 feet of growth since it started growing back this spring in the pot part where I did an air layer. It's crazy. I mean, standing right here next to it, look, it's up to my hip. Right, this is the top of my pocket hole right here. So I think that one's winning. Let's see when it comes to growth. See, that one looks dead. There's a grapevine growing on it, but down in there, some mutated growth nodes, but they'll be coming back. I think this one, toast, is dead. Look at the catkins on one of my chestnut trees. Now this was a plant that I bought from Walmart on discount. I put like 9 Dunstan chestnuts along this whole back row, and they're all looking great. And this one actually has catkins, which are the male flower portion, which is cool. The next step is making nuts, chestnuts. And then I've got all my other chestnuts of these other varieties that I'll be planting around my 7 acres here. Let's see. Some plums on my Santa Rosa. Now obviously this one is an abort. It didn't get pollinated, but these 4 right here look good. That one there looks good. That one there looks good. Right? Look, something came by and broke this little branch off, which is fine. It was trying sticking out into this little whatever. There's gonna be stuff like that that happens in every garden, and with a garden this big, you know, shit's gonna happen, which is fine. Like this Santa Rosa tree just died, everything above the draft, but it's coming back from below the draft. Well, luckily I've got all these other plum varieties that can graft onto that rootstock that's growing back. Same here and same here, which I'll be practicing grafting nice varieties onto these, so I'm cool with that. I'm gonna let them grow up, probably train them into one central leader here soon, cut back this dead growth, and then I'll graft, you know, some other variety of plum on top of this. I got 1 pomegranate here looking good, number 2 pomegranate, number 3 pomegranate. They're all 3 alive. Look at these figs. So the ones that are missing or not in place, most of them they're either wick where you can scratch the bark and they're still a little green, or there's a little green bud down like this down here, which is hopeful. I mean, we're going into what feels like summertime, already, so they ought to come on up and start growing. Like this one, you scratch the base of that or look around it. Look at that. There's a green bud down there. And that's on, like, out of the 125 I had planted here, I don't know, my numbers are looking good. Maybe in the 115 area of survival rating. I don't think there's even 10 whole dead ones. So, oh, Jessica made a really cool Facebook post. We walked around the yard and she came inside and showed me like 30 flowers or something she took pictures of, different plants around the yard. And I said, come on, I'll find 15 more you can get pictures of. And I think we went over that 15 photographs of different flowers here in the yard. Wildflowers, some planted flowers, but all flowering. So then we put out a Facebook on the post, whoever can identify all of these flowers, I'll give a $100 bill and a fig tree. And so far we don't have any winners. And then let's see, if you've been watching the videos, this one over here was swamped in water. It's doing great. I just dug in a little drainage canal. All these are doing great. There's a Black Madeira and an I-258 and an Adriatic JH. I know those three by heart so far. And this one did a mysterious dieback. It was looking just as good as any other fig tree that I pointed at, and died one day. I don't know why. I'm not gonna dig it up yet or touch it. Just gonna wait and see. Let's see. Then we're going around. See where we're at. We're at the end of the fig orchard now. I'm gonna go around this way. Got all these wild growing blueberry bushes. See, there's a hole where I had planted a chestnut seedling that got dug up by the squirrels. I had over 300 chestnuts, acorns, and hickory nuts dug up by the squirrels that I had planted. I found a handful of them that they missed, and I threw a bunch of black walnuts out thinking that they would do that. They'd pick them up and go plant them somewhere, and they did. And I found probably 5 or 10 of those. No, 5 of those so far. And I showed you 2 of them earlier that I had planted. One of them with the hickory nut, but that one was, the hickory was probably from another wild tree. But the chestnuts, they've decimated them. I'm starting to find a couple that they missed on my driveway, which I'll make a video about. Check out these wild blueberries though. So what's cool is this little road that goes around this way has these wild blueberries. There's the clearing, and you can see where I put more Elaeagnus bushes, and I've already got a row of arborvitaes going this way. And I already got Elaeagnus between them in that cage, but then I bought these new arborvitaes or Elaeagnus to plant in. But what's cool is there's this row of blueberries along here. Okay, so I went and bought some more blueberry bushes, Tiff Blue and another variety, and have them staggered down through on this side also. So as we're on our walk around, hopefully this side will be a big thick wall of bush between us and the neighborhood they're building out here. And I mean, this is very far from the house. If you look back, you can barely see anything of the house. And so that one wall of hedge that I pointed out down there will be like a screen between us and that also right now. But hold on, let me get situated here. Okay, let me switch hands. This is a long video and my arm is getting tired. Let's go. Let's keep going. Show you what I've done. So last Friday I went and bought 50 bushes, including those blueberries I just pointed out, those 6 of those, and started planting. And then I seen Val's post that it was actually Arbor Day, so I planted 50 trees on Arbor Day. These are some hollies that I put in here. And you see what I'm using for mulch back here till I get wood chip on them. Right, just all the debris, all the, you know, duft I can pull back around them. And I wasn't planning on watering any of these, but I did drag a water hose up here, and I'm gonna water them, you know, maybe once every week or every 2 weeks. I did some euonymus like this. I already had a row of arborvitaes, like they're kind of cut in this way. And then back there I did more elaeagnus, wax myrtle, some hollies. Let's see. Got a bunch of other plants back in there planted. Let's see. And then I'm walking down this row of arborvitaes that I had first right here. And then I put these euonymus in here to make like a screen. There's a holly that'll thicken up. I'm just trying to put like a forest of bush right here. That guy right there. These little guys. These little guys. A Weigela. Nurturing up this magnolia. These little Christmas tree looking guys. Another Weigela. That. Maybe a ligustrum. These gardenias I started from cutting. I rooted those. There's a corkscrew willow. I got another one right there. And this little bush, like a butterfly bush or something. Another guy there. That bush I planted in right there. And then there's still arborvitae. So it's going to thicken up. If I walk, I'm going to walk back and show you. And I'm leaving all these mimosas, some persimmon, all sorts of stuff, another holly, oats and stuff all through there. All the way back to where Willie's at is that new thicket that I just showed you I'm planting. And then past Willie, where he was just at, is those arborvitaes and elaeagnus. And then the blueberries are right there. And then so if you look back towards the porch, this is the berm that I had planted already. I just planted also. I went this weekend and bought 37 new trees. So 50 and 37, 87 trees that I bought in. Put in like the fragrant tea olive, and then osmanthus, or maybe they're the same name. I got it wrong. Boom, boom, some privet. I did 2 rows basically, that row and this row, and I'm leaving these locust, persimmon, oats. Planted some variegated privet, some holly, and I need to mulch all of these now. But I pulled back whatever I could around them as mulch. And I'll water these a little bit. Now, we're back to where I got started. Back to the Celeste tree with the first figs on it. Boom. Alright, y'all have a great day. We'll see you soon. Alright, I'm back.